just so that people who could not tune in, who are still at work or that have other priorities right now, can still get a chance to hear what it is that you all would like to share with us this morning or this afternoon. We have some folks that have also asked if they could submit questions because they're not able to be on the line at the time. They actually are submitting questions in the chat box or via email that I will send to you at the end of this presentation or as they come through. Okay.
Okay.
So you all did a dynamic presentation. I think Baba Henry on our website at blacksustainabilitysummit.com underneath presenters, you should be able to view their video. I actually have it pulled up now for those that are still kind of signing in.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So I can pull it through, but I think it would be worthwhile if you got an opportunity to take a moment to digest it as well. They did a phenomenal job. I'd like to have you both introduce yourselves and share just a little bit for those that I'm recording this for around your presentation. And then I have questions for you, and I'm sure Elisha, who's also on, has some questions for you. And perhaps after your introduction, Baba Henry will have a little bit more of some context as well to be able to have these questions.
Oh, sorry, hold up.
Uh-oh.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, beautiful.
I just cut off the phone and got the computer to do it that way.
Okay.
Well, good morning. I'm Hotep. I'm Dr. Maisha Tianuru, president of the African Center of Wellbeing, and which is the center. It's the clearinghouse of information for holistic and natural health care. We're celebrating 23 years of community service, and I'm a naturopath. I'm also a professional licensed engineer in the state of Texas, and doctor of metaphysics, doctor of divinity, so on and so forth. And so just always looking for information to share with our brothers and sisters about how to take care of themselves.
I'm Dr. William Hancock, as well, member of the African Center of Wellbeing. Also, I have a degree, Bachelor of Science in Microbiology and Chemistry. Also, courses in background in public health, naturopath, Dr. Metaphysics, and Dr. Divinity as well.
Beautiful. Give thanks.
Also, we're both permaculturists as well. It's a sustainable living, permanent agriculture, over 13 years now.
So we have community gardens. We have a garden at our home. So, you know, we're always doing something.
Well, we give thanks. You all are doing a lot. The bios, I've read through the biographies on our website that we put up and have gone through the video. And I'm just so amazed at all of the work that you do to make sure that our people are healthy and that we're doing it in such a mindful way. I think, well, before I start asking my questions, let me open it up to those who are joining us. If they have any questions for you along your journey after watching the video, I see some more folks are hopping on. So I'd like to open it up for you all to ask questions before I get in it. You'll have to unmute your microphones and then you can proceed. Oh, go ahead. I hear someone's microphone open.
Yes, this is Elisha Hall in Chicago. I just wanted to give a humble thanks to you all. Very beautiful presentation. It was, my father is a naturopath. And so coming from that tradition, you know, it's very relevant. Rarely see a lot of Black folks doing that kind of work. And I have never seen a Black couple teach about birthing using the kind of astrology and as you all do so well and eloquently in that piece. And so very, very beautiful. You know, I wanted to ask you a question in terms of how, so I know a lot of doulas and folks who are practicing that. How do we get this to more doulas? How do we get so that they are improving their practice practice using you all's knowledge and information? And what has it been like? Are you all currently training doulas in the way that you put your information out there to people?
Well, we're not, I wouldn't say personally training doulas. However, doulas have come to us with questions about how to incorporate this information. So we've been sharing that on an individual basis, but we haven't addressed, say, contacted doula associations to present this information. So that may be a good avenue for us to pursue as well, because we get a lot of people contacting us individually for information. And then we have clients that come to us asking us information. Like we just got through consulting one of my cousins. She called us and said, well, we're planning to work on creating a baby. Unknowing to them, they were already 3 months into the process. So we had to sort of back up and get her on her proper herbs and get her caught up. And the baby's now 3 months old. So we, got her caught up, got her through the birthing process. We try to get them to do something outside of the hospital setting, but they were already locked in due to insurance. So we said, okay, if you're in that environment, make sure you can have a midwife or a doula or someone that can assist you in, while you're in that environment. And as soon as you can, get out and get your baby home. And so we went through the whole spiel about the vaccination. So she's breastfeeding. She just called the other day about vitamin D supplementation and what to do with diaper rash. And then, the babies, they're using cloth diapers. So we get a lot of individual calls about what do we do now kind of thing. So that's a great suggestion. And perhaps get a hold of some of the doula communities and do a presentation for. We've been invited to birthing conferences. So those kind of informal settings. So that's a great suggestion. We will definitely look at following up on that.
And in addition to that, we'll have to set up a YouTube channel of which to reach out as well.
And then we also encourage parents to do a birthing plan, especially if they're going to have a birth in a hospital, so that they'll get everything signed off. Because once you check in and you're already into the birthing process, you don't have time to be checking boxes. And even after parents have signed birthing plans, we have still had experiences with them being harassed, especially about vaccinations, until they're out the door. So it's really important if you're giving birth in a birthing center or in a hospital to have your birthing plans in place prior to when you start into the laboring process.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. No, that's great.
And there's options too in terms of giving birth, water births. Check with your doula, see if they do water births or some other forms of natural birth.
Or even hypnobirthing, because we had 2 clients that had hospital birth with their first children, and their second they did hypnobirthing, and that was much more, I think, calming and wasn't as stressful as their first birth. So we've got some great suggestions to go forward on to get information out.
Absolutely.
And then a lot of people go ahead with your question.
No, go ahead.
And a lot of people with our presentation, they're like, okay, well, we didn't plan and do the herbs that we were supposed to 3 months in advance or 3 months after. So now that we're on the planet, what do we do to get caught up with our missing minerals and our cell salt? So don't be discouraged. No matter where you are in the process, you can start wherever you are and go forward.
Correct.
That's so true.
That's so true, because even being born in this generation or back during the 60s or so, this knowledge wasn't always readily available to our people. So as a result of this, we have to encourage with the supplementation to help out. And I feel sorry for some of the younger kids today, because I even had family members that didn't even know they were pregnant until about a couple months down the line. Because back during the day when I was a younger child, I'm just sharing a family experience, my mother would check my sisters, and if they didn't have their period at that certain time, she'd question them, say, what's going on? And this was stories I was hearing from older women as well. They would check their daughters and make sure if they didn't have their period, then they knew right away something was going on. He was pregnant, and really had to go from there. But that knowledge, that information doesn't pass on anymore. So, so as a result, we're not in touch or tuned with our bodies to the point where, oh, I'm pregnant once the egg and the sperm connect, because we've been disconnected as a result of electronic devices, not being on a proper live fit, and instead of being on a American diet or a standard American diet, SAD. So we have to get back to that and get back with those wise women, the healers of our community, to help us be in touch with ourselves holistically.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love that you all talk about the mineral salts that go into that process in the video presentation. I want to open it up to other people. It looks like Raina might have stepped away or been kicked off.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here. I've been operating with about 5 minutes of sleep, and I realized I hadn't eaten as they kept talking about health. I went to go get some pineapples. So I've turned off my video so you don't watch me stuff my face. But I'm still here.
I'd rather see you eat the pineapple than sit there eating the non-food stuff. So.
Yes. I see some more people have joined us on the line. Sister Christina, if you want to unmute your microphone, we would love to have you go ahead and ask some questions. I see the video is on. Welcome. Or at least we're looking at her ceiling or something like that.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
I stepped away for a second.
I think so.
In addition to until she returns, we also believe in growing those foods that have your missing minerals as well. If you can collaborate with neighbors, or in your neighborhood has set up a community garden, or if you have to implement pots and grow those foods that you need that contain your missing minerals, that's wonderful as well. At least give yourself some options, because and the cell salts, we know some people are just on the go and just not inclined to grow their own foods or take supplements or to that effect. So at least some herbs or cell salts to help.
And if you're not growing your own food, support your local growers, support your local farmers, support your local markets, and you want to eat locally. A lot of times we get enticed when we go to the grocery store. We see all this exotic food from these other countries. Well, you have no idea the circumstances that those foods were grown, the shipping of those foods. A lot of times they have to pick stuff before they're ripe. And so by the time they get to us, that's another story. So we really encourage people to think locally, grow locally, because that energy, you want to eat the energy that's the closest to where you live. So just, enjoy all the pretty things when you go to the grocery store. But however, just look at it and enjoy it from afar.
I think that's great advice. I actually was having a conversation with a few other growers, and as we're looking, I'm waiting on her to come back. I can get my questions in until she returns. When we're looking at local growers participating, I guess, in a collective manner, so that you can grow what it is that each person needs. I think you were mentioning that. I wonder if there are some really solid models on, I guess, these cooperatives that can be developed, so that we can make sure that we continue to get that food, so that it's not, oh, well, this person is out after they've yielded this harvest, or and I wonder about going through some of the trainings that you've been speaking about, so that they also understand kind of what it is that you can grow, how to pair certain things. I know our growers are very knowledgeable, but I also think it's always worthwhile that we continue to teach students. Are you all open to hosting trainings like those?
No, absolutely, because that coincides with the planting and the growing seasons. Because you're planting and growing things like, even though we're just on the cusp of summertime, we already know that tomatoes are going to be out in June. So you're constantly in cycle with what is in the growing season. And with that will coincide with what people need as a personal nutrition and they know that, or we have to incorporate what we need for the particular birth cycles. It's like, you know, we're in Gemini right now, so that might be something interesting. It's like looking at the astrological calendar. Okay, Geminis, you know, this your time of the year. You know, what is it that Geminis need to be eating? And so that's an ongoing thing, and that will coincide with the planting cycle as well.
In addition to that, with new technologies such as hydroponics and aquaponics that can help out too in terms of making sure you get those types of foods, as well as greenhouses if you're living in a colder climate too.
Yeah, so that's a great community informational session. We can definitely look into coordinating.
That'd be beautiful to have. I see there's a few other people who have joined on. I see Dr. Uwa, Dr. Pam, Henry, Christina. Elisha has been asking questions up until this point as well. Does anyone have any questions around their presentation and discussion around health? Anybody that's out there? I see Christina hasn't returned. We're still looking at her ceiling. But if for those who have not gotten a chance to watch the videos, we do tell people to take it at their own pace, go through them. We had quite a few that were submitted. We had people sign on through the Click2Meeting platform initially, and we switched over to Zoom just because we didn't have the capacity. We had a lot of people sign up for one, so I hope that did not cause many troubles with people. I did go on there and I let people know to switch over because we had quite a few people signed up for this Q&A session. But I wanted to make that note and see if there was anything else you all would like to share before our next presentation at 1:30.
Okay, well, that's a great question.
There's Christina. I think she's typing something.
She said something about what do you recommend for couples after you give birth? Recommendations in terms of what? What specifically?
Plans? What are some of the things that you can recommend for couples after birth? I guess some plans, maybe health plans. I'm reading into the question a little bit.
Okay, well, we definitely encouraging breastfeeding as long as possible. It takes 12 years for a child's immunity system to fully develop. So breastfeeding helps get that process started and in place. We're not advocates of vaccinations because that interferes with that process. Cloth diapers are good. Aromatherapy for the whole family.
Also, while mother is breastfeeding, make sure she eats the foods in which those missing minerals in which the child, say the child was born in Gemini, she needs to include those foods or cell salts into her life. That way the child that'll ensure the child gets some of those nutrients as well.
And so just for a quick example, we're talking about Gemini, so there would be missing potassium chloride. And so from that missing minerals, you'll hear complaints about because of the lack of that impure blood. A good blood cleanser would be good for that. Bronchial infections, neuritis in the arms and shoulders, nervousness, brain damage, and fever. So you eat things like asparagus, cauliflower, spinach, green beans, beets, bean sprouts, carrots, tomatoes, which are in season, sweet corn, which are in season, celery, oranges, peaches, pineapple, plums, apricots, and pears. So that would help regenerate and help complete that particular birth cycle.
And in addition to that, a stress-free home, and also knowing about AFP tapping to help as well. As for example, if a child is born and that child has a lot of, say, respiratory or bronchial problems, lungs is associated with grief. So during the time while the child was inside the womb, there could have been grief or stress between the parents. And as a result, the baby picks that up. So that can manifest in terms of skin problems as well as bronchial problems because the lungs rule the skin. So you would need to definitely address that with the cell salts as well as with tapping, because each organ in the body harnesses a different emotion. And you have to be able to understand those different emotions. That's what we share with our clients as well, to help them deal with certain conditions as well as we started missing.
How do you work your divinity work into your birth work? Have you ever told
a couple not to have a child or that they should not be together?
No.
Well, not in so many words. Not just straight out come up and tell them. We would suggest that you all further investigate your compatibility issues and give them some exercises to do to work on that. And because some people, as humans, we're attracted physically first to people, and then we don't hormonally. So sometimes you can move from that and do some more investigation and spend more time with one another with that. Like I'm not going to say that because that's a little bit too personal, but I have a young lady in my life, and every time I see her every 3 weeks or 4 weeks, she's with a new guy. And I want to suggest to her, have you ever thought just to spend some quality time with yourself and getting to know yourself instead of being constantly in and out of these relationships? And she has had several miscarriages in the last year as a result of this. So these spirits, they're not coming into these, what I call balls of confusion. So I attempt gently to speak with her about, just know yourself.
Yes. So I think you all share so many great examples, and I think that as a part of this, it would be wonderful to have you as a part of our part of the summit every year. But we want to be very practical in the work that people are able to do. And I think that you give some very great examples in the video. You talk about this. But if people want to learn more and connect with you, and they're in other places where they can't get to you physically, what are some options for them to connect with you or get consultations from you?
They can email us at mail, MAIL, @ACWBINC.org. Again, that's mail, MAIL, @ACWBINC.org. And our website is www.acwbinc.org. Again, www.acwbinc.org. And under the services, there's a consultation page, because we can do consultations by phone, by Skype, by email.
Different mediums such as this, besides Skype, now the Zoom, as long as they have a video camera like us. And
right, and if they're stateside, our phone number is 713-639-3571, 713-639-3571.
Yes. I will, for those who need me to copy it, their contact information is also up on our website under presenters. At the bottom of each of their bios, if you go to our homepage, you can select 2017 presenters, select their photo, and it'll take you directly to their magnificent bios and their contact information. I think this is extremely valuable. I could not give thanks anymore for you all participating, for sharing that knowledge and information. I think that we are very much so missing these components as a people, and that for those who have connected, even though passively listening at times or watching at their own convenience at 3 a.m., which people do, and send emails at that time, it's still beautiful, because we want to get the information, and that's what this platform has been. We find out about so many dynamic people like yourselves with that wisdom, and it's time that we share it, even if it's for a brief period, so that we can continue to connect at length. I think I shared in the last the last presentation, and I'd be remiss if I didn't share it in this one, that we are looking to take the Black Sustainability Summit, but we're in our second year. We're looking to make it an in-person summit next year and going forward, while we're still maintaining this online platform for those that still have challenges reaching us or getting into these places and spaces. And so I think having some demonstrations as well around how you can do it. People talk about cloth diapers. I don't have any children yet. I do really want children. But again, it comes down into finding that right match of a complement and making sure that it develops in a very healthy way. And so reading through Baba Baruti's Complementarity has been something that's been beneficial for me, his book. But as you talk about cloth diapers and things to eat, sometimes we need a coach that can walk us through these things. And it sounds like that's precisely what it is that you all are doing, or assisting those with and giving some advice. And so I want to give thanks to you. And would love to follow up with you when the time comes for me as well.
Well, we give thanks and praise for you developing this wonderful Black Sustainability Conference and allowing us to participate this year. And we found out about it from Brother Keith Awadu, his last year, and we watched. I'm like, oh, how can we get involved with that? This is so awesome. We have another gentleman that are seeing us, and he wants to present next year. So
wonderful.
Yeah, so it is really a great platform, and so we're honored to be able to participate and share our knowledge and wisdom as we keep growing and that sort of things, and as we continue to grow and develop and get new information, because we're constantly coming across products that help, and I've just come across a product that is going to help our females that are having infertility issues, and it goes to having 100% chemically free sanitary feminine products. So we are so excited to share products as we come across things that help our clients.
Wonderful. Is that by chance the Lamo pad?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I need to send you all some pictures of some things that I've been getting from other people just to get your take on it as well.
Absolutely. We welcome that. Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we are up on our time now. I see that I have a caller that wanted to ask something. Go ahead. The 919-928-7320 number.
Oh, I didn't actually have a question. I was logging on. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Not a problem. Not a problem. Well, we thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. Well, Hotep, and you all can you can remain on this line if you'd like to. This is the same line that we'll be using for the other presenters as they come on and off. I will be leaving around 2:30, and we'll have a volunteer that will be, or actually not even just a volunteer, somebody who's been very integral in this process, a part of our collective, that will be starting to host the next meetings for the rest of the day. And then tomorrow we'll have Q&A sessions again during this time, and we'll be wrapping up at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those that are on the West Coast, we give them a little extra time to have some closing remarks. So if our presenters don't mind joining us again, that'd be wonderful. If you can't, it's not a problem, but just wanted to extend that, and we want to give thanks for you. And
we appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is 919. I actually had a problem because I'm on Central Time and y'all are, I guess, Eastern Time, so I got confused. But this was the seminar about child rearing and holistic health.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. And did you all talk about corporal punishment versus timeouts, or did y'all talk anything about that? I mean, I missed it. I was trying to get online. Did y'all talk about that aspect of child rearing?
No, we didn't, and we're both products of children that receive corporal punishment, and to an extent. I mean, our parents gauge what they were able to do with me. You looked at me too hard, and I start crying, and my brother beat him within the edge of his life, and it didn't matter to him. He'd get back up and would keep doing the same thing. So,
I had a peach tree. We had a peach tree in our yard, so
Good.
a small one.
Yeah, so it was used effectively to whatever extent it needed to be used. And that's about learning about your child. You know, some children you can look at them and they break out and cry like me. Some of them, the timeouts work. Some children that doesn't work. Some things taking away privileges worked. So it's about getting to know your child. However, whichever form of punishment you choose to administer, take time as a parent to calm down and get out of your anger mode before you issue that punishment.
In addition to that, you really need to understand your child in terms of how to communicate. Because some are kinesthetic, audio, and visual. And you need to understand those, what method or medium you can best communicate with your child in terms of having lots of patience as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, I believe in nonviolence or nonviolent persons. So to me, it's always been contradictory to administer violence when to thought and essentially to get a point across as a punishment when I don't really believe in violence in general. And then it goes back to the the slavery and bondage type of heritage of the child. I mean a lot of people still make their child strip naked when they especially I've been very surprised at how many African Americans still have a tradition that you have to get naked. The child has to get naked, and they whip them or whatever. And to me, it's so much tied to our history of slavery and a carryover from that.
Right.
So I've tried both methods. I mean, different methods in taking away privilege and rewards, and I just don't feel right. And then the biblical says, spare the rod, with the spare the rod, spoil the child, and all that. I'm very conflicted about it. But I also, the people that say that it works, I say, we have a lot of people in jail, and a lot of people that have done crimes that were whooped or had corporal punishment when they were growing up. So that doesn't mean that if you do administer corporal punishment, you're going to come out with a good product.
Right.
So anyway, my name is Hope Oriracy from Dallas, but that's I was just wondering about that.
And just one other thing, sister, too. Having our children involved in martial arts and physical activities and understanding the principles of MOD will help as well.
Okay.
Martial artists as well.
Okay.
And remember,
It's honor.
Okay.
And bless.
Thank you.
Hello.
hello.
Hello, greetings. Alafia.
Alafia, Hotep, John.
Greetings, peace. I think Brother Henry had a question, and then we're going to move to Olasanya, if you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am. How you?
I'm well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to pass it over to Brother Henry, and then we're going to have you ask your question. Go ahead.
Greetings, elders from Georgetown, South Carolina. It's an honor to be in your midst and listening at your wisdom and your knowledge that you share towards health.
That's right,
One of my main things that I would like to try to discuss that we're trying to formulate with the National Black Council of Elders with Brother Wesley. And I've been on several different conference calls, and having the sustainability, be able to grow our own foods and try to reverse some of this process of this European society that is trying to poison humanity with the GMOs that's in the food, the chemtrails that's in the air that we are breathing, and there's no telling what's in the water.
Yes.
So those three elements sustains life. And if we don't sustain those three elements, then there's nothing good that's going to come out of the equation. So if we are trying to structure and trying to combat the forces that's trying to come against us, our ancestor is well aware of all of our situation, and Mother Earth will always sustain herself because she's over millions of years old. So, you know, when people talks about organic food, a lot of things ring in my mind. Okay, is this in a secure environment that's contaminated free, you know, from the elements? That's one of my questions. Because if we got the best topsoil growing on the side of our home that we get from Home Depot or from a farm, but yet it's still exposed to two of the elements, and that is the water and the air. So I know there's a friend of mine that's out in Alabama that has a green garden that's about a block long, and what they did, they enclosed it, and the water that they use is running through a filtration system that goes back around. Excellent. So I would definitely get it from him, you know. But my main question is for all of us, you know, as we key into the main principles of Ma'at, and that's my lifestyle. That's what we connect in that with the Gullah Geechee Nation as well. And our spirituality has to come first, because our body can really heal itself as if you are in the right state of mind, you're raising your chakras, you're raising your vibrations, and you can automatically heal yourself. And I love being in a position where I can also give good advice and a solution to a lot of things that we combat on a daily basis. And that's one of the reasons why the National Black Council of Elders was formed, to take responsibility over the melanated people, like the Caucasian has a government system. And so without further ado, I just want to say I thank you for your presentation. I took some notes down, and hopefully this will not be the last time we see each other.
Well, thank you so much.
Pass.
Well, thank you so much for your kind comments, and you're more than welcome to follow up with us. And I'm glad our information was so readily received and favorably received, and was very informative. Sometimes we wonder about that.
Yes. Anything that you send out into the universe, our ancestor will make sure it's going to fall in the right hands.
Oh, great.
So never feel that ain't nobody listening.
Okay.
One of the great quotes of our ancestors says, "Speak to the winds, and the winds will carry your message," because it's not always an audience that we're looking for. We're looking for the things that we don't see on a daily basis, and that's what's coming from the cosmos and the universe.
Okay.
Ashe.
Ashe, ashe.
Ashe. Give thanks. Brother Olasanya, you had some questions. The mic is open, and we want to be mindful. If our other presenter joins on, we will go to him after your question is answered.
Okay, I don't know if you, hello, my name is Olasanya. I'm here in Dallas, Texas.
Hotel.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all can see me or hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
We can.
Oh, man. I hope I look too bad. This is what I did the other day. This is one of my little projects I'm working on right here. As you can see, this is it's kind of misty out here today in Dallas. This is like a water preservative thing I have.
Yeah, we have one of that.
And I actually made my roof. I got my little gutter system I put up here. I'm actually working with it. I'm not really finished with it yet. This is some
Excellent.
of that stuff I have. This is like a banana tree I just had like 2 months ago. Planted it.
You
Got
raised
a couple collard greens and kale I'm growing here.
Excellent.
And what I'm actually doing, I'm using a natural pesticide, right? I'm
Okay.
experimenting with it and it actually is working. So I'm actually doing the natural pesticide from soap.
Okay.
I was in Senegal. I've been in Senegal like 6 times. And I noticed one thing when I was doing some observation with one of the brothers that was growing certain crops. They grow a lot of cassava there, a lot of cassava. The main problem is that they don't have the pesticide to combat, it's called locusts. We call them grasshoppers, and there's a bunch of them there.
Okay.
But if you actually spray the soap actually gets rid of them and so far. And what happened with it, you guys spray all the time because soap, here in the United States, it rains a lot, so it kind of washes it off. So when you spray the soap, you got to be careful not to use too much soap because, you know, if you rub soap together in your hand, it's just a warm feeling, just like detergent.
Okay.
You ever grab detergent powder and hold in your hand, it gets real hot? Well, you're going to just use a little bit of that and a little bit of water. And that should go just on the ground and so far because that can also stop pesticides and so a lot of things.
Okay.
I have a lot of projects I'm actually working on. I like to share with you guys. One of my projects, I like the project. I seen the review about the stability you have in Africa, especially in Senegal, right?
Okay.
So I have a project in Senegal since Barack Obama, you know, and his wife and family had been to Gorée Island, and they actually been to the slave council. So I have my friends there. So I option this question. You know, in Africa, there's no library, you know, right?
No, did not know that.
There's no place you can go buy African books on African history relating to African slavery here in America.
Oh,
It
wow.
does not exist. So what I had option to do, trying to put this together, is actually get books, used books from here, donated at a bookstore. And other collective bookstores, there's very few bookstores. There's Marcus Garvey Bookstore, which is actually probably in Oakland, California, and also you got the bookstore in New York, Noble Drew Bookstore. I think that's in Philadelphia, and also we have Pan African here in Dallas. So my option and question is actually, we can get a project started on Gorée Island with the help of the government. You'd be very surprised how willing the government will see African Americans put forth the effort of starting a small bookstore, not very about the size of a house, not very big, but you can get enough brothers to donate used books, a reference library, and also video projection with solar panels that can run its own self. So people can come in and see our story and read our story. And don't worry, Africans can read English. Don't be fooled by that, because most Africans speak 5, 6 languages.
Wow.
African Americans speak like 2 of them. So they have the ability to read and speak English. Our whole unification problem is not knowing who we are on the other side of the world. We're citizens of America, but we African Americans, but not citizens of Africa. So Africans really want to know our story, and they really want to unite with us. And there's so much diversity we have among ourselves that we just need to come together to perform this task. And it can be done by way of us reaching out. I know a lot of us don't have a lot of, but if this project will kick off, you'd be very surprised how well it will connect celebrities, stars, and everybody from different sectors will come in and play just to see this project off. I have a vision, I see it, and I know it can happen. I know it can happen among among a lot of brothers and sisters there. And that's just one of the projects I have that I would like to also incorporate it with your project you guys are doing as well. So it's in detail, mostly.
Okay.
That's a great project. We would love to assist.
Yes.
I would also like to state, this is Afia with the Black Sustainability Summit. I would also like to make a note that you may have missed the brother Dr. Osman Pan, who was on from Senegal a little bit earlier as well.
Usman.
Yes, Usman. Oh, you know him.
No, I don't know him, but that's the way to pronounce his name.
Oh, well, thank you. And he just allowed me to continue to mispronounce it, so I have to apologize.
Okay.
Thank you. He got on and he was speaking about that. And I know after watching his video, that's something that I would love to. I'm recording the session, and I'm happy to share that with him as well for you all to connect. And then around 2 p.m., there will be Brother DJ Asante, who is also in Senegal, who has developed communities in Mississippi and in Senegal that would also be good for you to stick around and share that with if you have the time. But we do want to give thanks to you all. We've definitely overstayed our time with you, and I give thanks for you all being so patient and so respectful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to stay, please feel free to stay. DJ Asante will be on at 2 o'clock. If you need to leave, we also respect that. Any last words?
No, we just are so appreciative for this platform and you all including us this year, and we look forward to participating in future Black sustainability conferences, whether it's still web-based or in person or however you all want to incorporate us in the process. We'll be very appreciative.
Wonderful.
And
So you said Usman will be back or one of the brothers that's related will be back online, like
in about 10 minutes, he'll be on the same platform at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
and we'd like to leave you the words of Ankh Uja Sene,
What it means.
which means life, prosperity, and peace.
Very powerful. Give thanks.
Yes.
Okay. I see we have a few other people that are on the line. You all can mute your microphones, or you all can speak with each other until DJ Asante comes on. We're just going to hold this line down. I'm going to stop the previous recording, so I will have my line on mute, but you all can feel free to communicate amongst yourselves, play music, whatever it is that you like to do until 2 o'clock. We have about 8 minutes. Thank you.
8 minutes, so it's okay. 1 o'clock here in Texas.
Yes, we're on Eastern Standard Time, so we have about a few minutes. But you did share us a lot of great information. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh yeah, I have one more to share with you as well. Also, you can take, if you want to chat with me offline and so far, I can also give my information, and I can tell you what we're doing here in Dallas.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Let's see. Do you see the chat box? If you could type your email address in the chat box to me privately, after the summit is over after tomorrow, I'll be able to speak with you personally.
It says Black Sustainability Summit. Which one you on?
If you do Black Sustainability Summit at gmail.com, you can
That's
email.
yours?
Yes, that's me.
Okay, let me just put here tap to chat. Okay, that's I'll type it here. I have a lot of easy projects that the average brother and sister can actually do. Let me just do my number here. I have another one. It's so easy. You know, I met also a king from Cote d'Ivoire, West Africa.
Oh, nice.
And I met him in Atlanta, Georgia. That was 2016. He was here to address the issues of African Americans being slaughtered by the police. He was here with an entourage.
Do you mind if I interrupt you for a quick second? Doctor, you said Usman?
Usman.
He is on the line right now. I know his microphone is muted, but Baba, we have someone that's on the line, Olasanya, who had some questions for you. We have about maybe 6 minutes until our next presenter is on, but if you want to direct your suggestion once more to him, he is listening in now, and he's back on the line. He's in Senegal at the present moment. So
Oh, Usman, I am.
Yes.
So can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh.
He can hear you. He's on mute. I can see if I can unmute him. Hold on.
Okay.
Dr. Usman? Let's see. He may have his audio down. I know he told us he was just going to be listening in. Some of the bandwidth was slow before.
Okay.
But I'll share it with him. I won't belabor this point.
I just wanted to give him the greetings. I know right now he's probably in the state